This channel does not promote or promotion any illegal activities. All content provided by this channel is meant only for educational purpose only.
TIFU my life after trying fix up a new home and ended up homeless. This morning I spent 5 hours waiting with the police as my contractor cleared his tools from my torn apart house. My wife and I separated last year and I found a fixer-upper for purchase close by. A friend helped me find a contractor to fix a few things in the house while I was subleasing a place for a couple of months. This guy had health issues and took another week before showing up after he was hired. He quickly started finding more and more issues in the house and said fixing them wouldn't take too long. I trusted him since he was a friend of a friend and let him do the work. Over time, the project got bigger and bigger and he kept talking me into fixing more things that were a fire hazard or not up to code. We extended the deadline by a few weeks, but he never met that deadline. He would skip days and won't tell me or say he'll cover the molding days during the weekend and just won't show up. I told him I'm going through a divorce and that I need to move in ASAP before my lease expires, and he guaranteed the house will be ready by then. That day came and the house wasn't ready. He only needed another week. He kept saying that for almost 3 months. Today I fired the contractor after another friend came to take a look and told me the house is at least a month away from ready and that I've been lied to this whole time. My contractor flipped and started threatening me. He wouldn't give me my keys back and said I was holding his stuff hostage and he's allowed to enter my house whenever to pick up his stuff. I called the police. They came and stayed with me until he cleared his stuff out of my ripped apart house and gave me my keys back. He also stole some stuff on the way out. He also asked that I paid him for the work he's done on top the $10,000 he already got from me a month ago. The only available contractors I could find so far are booked for the next 2 months, which means I need to find a new place to stay for 3 more months. They need to fix the plumbing, electrical, install floors, walls, and put the kitchen back together before the house is even livable again. The electrical system is not done, the plumbing is halfway, there are no floors, all the walls are open, and he even took the shower apart. The kitchen cabinets are stacked on the floors because of a leak he discovered, and the countertop broke during the disassembly. I can't even camp in the house because there's no floors or running water. My lease expires in 3 days. I was supposed to move in 2 weeks ago. My future ex-wife tells me not to bother her with my problems and that I can't go back to sleep in my office in the house I'm still paying mortgage for. I work from home, so I have no office to go to during the day. Also, it's my birthday this weekend and I have the kids for next 5 days and nowhere to go. I really did fuck up my life. TLDR, hired a contractor to fix up my new home. He ripped it apart and lied about getting work done. Wasted 3 months and $10,000 to get my house in a worse condition than it was. Will be homeless in 3 days on my birthday. TIFU, went back to work too soon and shat my pants. Okay, so technically this happened in January, but it's been burning a hole in my brain, so I had to share. I had recently been sick with COVID with mild, moderate SYMT PMS, but been declared non-contagious and needed to get back to work since I'm self-employed as a dog walker. Not the fancy, walking 20 dogs at once kind. I live in the suburbs of the Midwest and primarily walk 1 or 2 dogs at a time. Anyway, I'm out with one of my regular clients about halfway through our hour-long walk when my stomach starts making that noise. Now, this particular walk is essentially walking a mile straight down a trail and a mile back along the same path we just walked, the turnaround point being a moderately wooded area. As soon as I realized my digestive system was about to betray me, I turned around and started walking back as fast as I could. I knew within the first few steps I wasn't going to make it, and I started to panic, sweating and clenching my butt cheeks as hard as I could. There was a few feet of snow on the ground. I knew my only hope was to run into the woods, which you can definitely see through, but it's better than nothing at this point. My very first step into the deep snow released the clench of my cheeks just enough to let a rancid, COVID liquid poop start leaking out into my underwear. Here I am, trying to get to the nearest large tree, hauling a dog who is confused as hell, with my underwear filling with disgusting liquid. I make it to the tree, hook the leash on a branch, and try to strip off my fleece-lined pants far enough to squat and let my bowels loose. Instant relief. But now I'm faced with another problem. WTF am I supposed to do with these underwear? It's too cold and there is too much snow to properly take them off, especially since I'm barely out of easy eye shot of any passers-by. I reluctantly come to the conclusion that I'll have to rip them off while continuing to squat on the freezing cold. But the only thing I have in my pocket is my keys. So I start sawing away at the seams of my underwear while my fingers are starting to get numb. The keys partially work to rip holes in the fabric, and I finish the job through sheer force of will and the mounting terror that someone will walk by to see me, or the tied-up dog, squatting half naked behind this tree. After burying my underwear and puddle of poo in shame, I finish the walk as quickly as possible commando, not having anything to have wiped with. To top off the horror of the day, I was house sitting for my dad and went back to his house to clean myself up. I start running some warm bath water, because this mess is all over my lower body. I strip down to my shirt and bra and go to sit down in the few inches of water to warm up and clean off. I shut off the water, but the water won't stop running. Something inside the pull-out handle to turn on, off the water finally kicked the bucket in my moment of need. So now I'm running around the house with no pants trying to shut off the water to the bathroom, which was also leaking down the wall into the basement. Eventually I discovered his house is too old to have a bathroom, or even tub, specific shut off, and I'm forced to turn off the water to the whole house for 2 days until the plumber could get out there. TLDR. I shat my pants while walking a dog and broke my dad's plumbing trying to clean up. TIFU by throwing up at the most awkward moment possible. I, 18F, have been best friends with my current best friend. Let's call her D since we were 11. But unfortunately in September we are going to be going to different universities. We are both dreading it. Today was D's 18th birthday and we were celebrating by going bowling. I thought we were going to a place which was only half an hour away, and so I did not take a travel sick tablet. But we went to a different place in a town nearly an hour away. I was fine on the way up, but pretty much the entire way back, I felt sick. I did not say this out loud though, because I didn't think I was actually going to be sick and I didn't want to worry anybody. Our other friend was there too, and we only see her a few times a year, because she moved schools when she was 16. I just sat as close to the window as possible whilst she did most of the talking. However, I started to feel worse and like I was going to be sick and had decided I would ask to get out of the car after we dropped our other friend off home. But, right after she got out of the car at her house. D took that moment to tell me how much I meant to her, how much she would miss seeing me every day, and how we should definitely stay in contact and video call because our friendship means a lot to her. Despite internally pleading with myself, do not throw up, and trying my absolutely hardest to keep it down, I had to pull away from our hug prematurely and I puked into the nearest bag, less than a minute after she told me that. Tired. Initially she did not even think of it from the angle I just had. She was concerned, trying to get me to roll the window down, hold the bag closer, asking me if we needed to stop the car. But I was already groveling. I am so sorry. That was the single most awkward moment I could have thrown up. Initially she looked at me as if to say, "What are you on about?" And then she realized and we both burst out laughing. Flushed tears of joy flushed. I hope no one ever proposes to me on a long road trip. Crossed fingers rolling on the floor laughing. TLDR, thanks to travel sickness, my response to my friend telling me how much I meant to her was to freaking puke.